Welcome, Nicolas Rochat, the founder of Mover, plastic-free sportswear to Climate Action Live.
Thank you for having me.
Nicolas, could you tell us about your journey towards creating Mover, plastic-free sportswear, and what's the company's mission?
The true mission is to try to understand how much we need synthetics, how much we need plastic, and how far we can go without. And I think it's about reconnecting to our own nature. And that is the mission of the brand, is to reconnect to oneself, reconnect to the earth environment, and try to make things better, or things as they used to be, without any nostalgia in that, because we use this tool, which is a sportswear brand, and this is our vision, to prove that actually we don't need synthetics to perform, we don't need plastics to perform, and to have a happy life. So I think it's a lot about reconnecting and understanding what we truly need, without lying to ourselves. And I say without nostalgia, because I think we today technology shows that we can go super far in terms of fabrics, fibers, structures, and we don't want to go back to the past. We want to go forward, to move forward, and we want to build a strong company. Back to your question about the journey, I think it goes back to my very childhood, because I was lucky enough to be raised here in Switzerland, close to the mountains, close to nature. My grandfather on my father's side was a doctor in a valley, in a mountain. He was responsible for the hospital there, and 5,000 people moving from France to Switzerland. He worked full time. He never took any holiday. I think his first holiday was at 75. He was working Sundays, Saturdays, every day. Every time he had a little moment free, and I was there, we would go to the wood, to the forest, would pick mushrooms or blueberries or raspberries in the forest. He was a hunter, he was a fisher, fished a lot on his rowing boats together. He learned me how to behave towards our environment. And I think my father did the same. I'm very thankful for that, because I think I kept this up to today. And when I was lucky enough to get in touch with this sportswear company, that was 20 years ago, I tried to apply these values and ethics to this project. And it took a long time. We speak 20 years ago, and it was quite a gradual journey to actually come to the point that we're completely plastic free today. It was gradual, because back in at the very beginning, we moved the production back from China to Europe, but then we introduced the natural merino wool into our garments because we liked the feeling. I personally had an aversion for synthetics because it heats up too much. So we were looking for better comfort, better breathability, less odors. And the answer was obviously natural fiber and merino wool. We invented then the first wool wadding to replace polyester insulation. The industry was providing us with Primaloft polyester or Thermolite, Tinsolate. All these are polyester waddings or down, but both were heating up too quickly. So we didn't look at the wool under a sustainable angle. We looked at wool because it was thermoregulating. It was exchanging better. We felt more comfortable. So that was an important step, is to introduce the first natural wool insulation in the sport garments. And then we replaced the last layer we had, which was a plastic layer which was the Gore-Tex. We had a Gore-Tex license by a cotton fabric, a high density woven cotton called Ventile. That was a UK invention from the 30s. And the beauty of it, it's a mechanical construction. It is so densely woven that it is water repellent, waterproof, completely windproof also, but it is breathable. Again, we were not looking for something sustainable. We were looking for something performing better, breathing better. It was about breathability. And we combined all that until that was 2016 that we realized how much our synthetic garments were contributing to the microplastic pollution. But we had already developed solutions almost without plastics to do our ski, because I'm a fanatic skier too. And it was really research for comfort and my own performance, but also our clients' performance in the mountains. So we decided to make to work on this new concept and to make a new proposal, a value proposal to launch on the market in 2021. So we worked for 3 years to 19, and during COVID, to launch in October 21 the first completely plastic-free sportswear. The idea there is really to demonstrate that plastic is not a fatality, that we don't need synthetics to go outdoors, that we can respect nature and use it for its best without harming it. And on the way that you can actually even feel better and possibly perform better.
Thank you, Nicolas. Absolutely fascinating, incredible what you've done. Can I ask you, I mean, you've partnered with Peace One Day, you've sponsored Climate Action Live. Firstly, obviously, an enormous thank you. You know, we couldn't have done it without you. But secondly, why is it so important to you to make an experience like Climate Action Live possible?
We have to making change possible, and we have to go together for that. We have to unite for that. We are directly concerned by climate. Doing fashion or doing sportswear, 99% of sportswear is made of synthetics for no good reason. Last year, fashion produced 100 billion garments, pieces of garment, out of which 70% are synthetics. Not half are used. Fashion is the second world's biggest polluter after fossil fuel. So we're intimately concerned about what you are doing and your own activation. I think we have to speak together. We have to understand that this is a systemic issue, that it is a model issue. We are lucky enough to have a tool and to have developed a solution, so we can demonstrate, we can prove that change is possible. But I think it comes under common sense that we join forces on this one.
So it's June 2024. What is your assessment of the current situation in relation to our journey of protecting our planet and its people?
Well, it's tough. I think it's really tough. I think if you look at, as far as we are concerned by plastics, the Global Plastic Treaty, the 5th round of negotiation, which just took place in Ottawa, following the 4th, which was in Nairobi. What we're seeing as an outcome is petrol producing countries that are pushing as much as they can in favor of recycling plastic. And this will certainly happen because today governments at the European level, also at our Swiss level in the United States, they subsidize quite heavily recycled plastic. And it's frightening to us because obviously recycling plastic is to recycle the problem. It won't solve it. So we believe that we have to stand up. We have to, of course, provoke. We have to stand in the route of profiteers and people who are only driven by money, and obviously destroying the planet is not their problem. But somehow, if we don't do it together, if we don't do it now, it will be very late. What we have reached today in terms of levels of pollution, of contaminants, of forever chemicals in our environment is enormous. So we have in the United States today 14 times the level of PFAS authorized in drinking water, which is present in rainwater. So it drops from the sky. We will never be able to remove that. We can stop increasing these levels. Plastic microparticles are found on top of the Himalaya, in the Amazon, on North and South Poles, and in the Mariana Trench at 11,000 meters depth. It's a global problem, and we can just start to imagine that we can stop it We will not be able to stop plastic, and this would be absurd. We can use less plastic. I think tomorrow, and this is feasible, we can reduce by half what we use today. And it's very easy. It's in our daily object, in our daily lives. It starts with our clothing. We can tomorrow wear cotton, wool, hemp, linen instead of synthetics. This is already a big share. According to the figures, the microparticles in the ocean represent 92% of the overall plastic pollution worldwide. Only 8% is visible pollution on the beaches, washed out, floating on the oceans. This is only 8%. 92 is invisible. And out of that, 35% come from our clothes. So it's a big share, what we wear. The rest, of course, is more difficult. For example, tires is another 32%. This will take longer, but we have to be confident in research and technology to address that. But let's already work on what we can do. Our knives, our toothbrush, our clothes, our glasses, our plates, our straws, any object that is around us, which is where plastic is not needed, we can get rid of.
So a phrase, no climate action, no peace. Could you talk to me about what you think when you hear that statement?
Well, I think that men declared war to nature. Men declared war to nature. And it's absurd because there is no possibility to win that war. And both camps will just lose. And I don't understand why we declared a war to nature. We lived for million years without that. And suddenly we decided that we were smarter, that we could use nature to an extent that was not bearable. And somehow it is time to say enough. And I think we support your event today, also your action because of that, because we have to stand up and to say that we cannot go further. We are just we're not only polluting, contaminating, we're destroying the very beauty of nature. We're destroying the oceans, the coral reef. We are destroying the mountains. We're destroying the glaciers. We're destroying the fauna. We're destroying the biodiversity. Why do we do that? It's amazing to do that. And some examples we have, like biodynamic agriculture, or we are wine drinkers in Switzerland. We can perfectly cultivate wine in a biodynamic way, respecting all the ecosystem and actually creating a better product. So it is possible. Agriculture, wine culture shows us that we can do it, that we can go there. And I think we try to do the same with movers, that we can go another way.
You say we shouldn't recycle plastic, but what should we do instead then?
A lot of people tell me, including friends, that it's better to recycle than to do nothing. And we think it is worse to recycle plastic for a simple reason, is that it will add more plastic to the plastic. It will recycle the problem. And it is a lure that people are happy to hear, and industries are happy to use as a tool actually to continue their business as they did until now. And we believe it's a huge danger. It's like if you have a brain tumor and you're lucky enough to have it extracted from your brain, and it is put in a mixer and re-injected in your vein. It just makes no sense. Why would we do that? Why would we put plastic back into the environment we took it from? So the technical answer to your question is, we should, of course, collect the plastic that is out there, and we should transform it either by pyrolysis and to transform it into energy, fuel, gas, or electricity, or we should transform it in something stable that cannot leak or release toxic pollutants. The chemicals that I use to do the plastic are constantly leaking and from the plastics, and they are the endocrine disruptors. They are the danger. So we should find a way to make some products that don't leak and don't release, possibly encapsule this plastic. But for us, the recycled option is the worst one.
If people would like to support your work and find out more about your products, how can they best do this?
Well, of course, by trying our products, but I think they have to get convinced by themselves. That's the most important, because we have a lot of, the sport shops in our specific domain, which is sport clothing. The sport shops have sold us for the last 40, 50 years synthetic as technical. And we have to understand that it is not the case, that we could go up to the Mount Everest in 52 Hillary in Tenzing. We could go to the North Pole and to the South Pole. We could cross the oceans and go around the globe with natural fibers. And today, as said before, technology offers us way better structures than 50 years ago. So what we gain here is, again, is the breathability and the comfort in the system. But try it by yourself, get convinced by yourself, go out, go to the mountain. Don't switch and swatch when you walk. Look at the others and ask yourself, why are we wearing that? Or ask yourself, what do you really need to go out there under a heavy storm or in a sunny days? Because it's not always raining, actually. It's raining this year quite a lot because of the climate change. But the last years, we had like 95% of the summer days were sunny, so we don't need a waterproof protection to go out there. We would like people to try our clothes, and specifically for that, for the Climate Action Day, we have we propose a 20% discount that we are super happy to offer to all the people who listen to us here. The code is called Climate Action Live. You should just activate it and buy a t-shirt, test by yourself.
Nicolas, the founder of Mover, plastic-free sportswear. Thank you so much, by the way, for the code. And that's Climate Action Live, all lowercase, to get 20% off this incredible sportswear. Who are the enablers of Climate Action Live? Nicolas, it's an absolute pleasure to work with you. We wish you the very best with your amazing mission.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much.